All right. Hey, um, so big news. Been a busy week, or been a busy last half of the week, and it got going quick. All started all of a sudden out of nowhere. Started getting calls, getting the right contacts. Things just came out of the woodwork all of a sudden. Um, so got a test scheduled. My very first downhill 6G 12-inch pipeline test. It was for a fab job. Um, Supposed to be a 12-inch 6G and a branch, 12 on 12 branch test. And some of you guys may have seen my frantic post looking for some ordnance numbers to lay out the branch because it had to be no templates. Um, 1104 says that you can use a template, but this gas company wanted by the book. So anyway, I show up, go through all the steps, and I busted. Yeah, I didn't even get to do the branch. Um, there were a couple things wrong. My machine. Okay, so root went in great. Checked out, visual, no problem. The inspector says I need to get the heat when you run your hot pass. So I set my machine, third gear, 85, 90, and I'm running. And he's got his little gator clip on the back of my rod. And he says, "You're running real cold," and told me to stop. And that was as far as I got. My machine was so cold, it was not in the parameter of the WPS. I told him, "Hey, let me fix it." I mean, at that point, I was done. The He couldn't let me finish. I told him we talked. I turned up the machine, got some issues worked out, and I got to finish. He let me finish. Uh, Shout out to you, Mr. Green. Learned a lot. Appreciate your time and all your knowledge that you dropped on me yesterday. Um, Finish out the test, and he did me the courtesy of shooting it. They had the X-ray guys there; they were getting paid whether they shot my weld or not. They didn't have anything better to do, so they shot it. And in that quarter of the pipe that I ran, too cold, was 2.5 inches. I don't know what it looked like. I didn't see the film, but wagon tracks, 2.5 inches. Didn't burn out the slag line. So the X-ray busted, and I was busted on the heat, the voltage. Voltage was too low. It was supposed to be minimum 24.5 volts, 24.5 volts, and I was at 24 volts. So anyway, I was like, man, I either got too much lead, my OCVs are off, my RPMs are off, or something on that machine is off. Uh, Somebody made a comment the other day that said, "Man, that is too cold." They saw the weld and they said in the video, "That's too cold. That will never shoot." He was right. Holy shit, he was right. Uh, Third gear, 85. That's what everybody said. And I'm self taught with this downhill stuff. I'm working on my first couple of boxes. I'm not even through my first 100 pounds at 80/10. So, yeah, I ground it. I didn't grind it totally crystal clean though. And where I didn't do it crystal clear on the top on my good side, where I was like, "Oh, that'll burn out, no problem." Uh, yeah, no, it wasn't. It left slag lines right there. It didn't even burn it out. What was left? I wish I wasn't even gonna try. I didn't. I mean, I had cameras and I had battery and I had memory cards. But I wasn't even gonna pull it out of the car. I wish I would have got pictures though. I should have, so I could have showed you. But I'm telling you, I'll recreate it. Hell, I mean, because it's such a good story. Anyway, so what I did is I bumped it up to fourth gear. I was at fourth gear and 60 between, or maybe 50 and up for the rest of the test. And I was having so much problems on my tie-in on the bottom at 6 o'clock, just having a hard time. All this welding I've been doing, it just hasn't looked right. It's been good enough, but not great. So I got that heat back up, and I capped that test, and it looked slick. It was good. And the test 6G, 12-inch, 6010 root, 8010 G. Well, we actually use P, but the procedure qualified us, I guess, for G and P. But those pipeline rods are nice. And, if you could take your pick, that's what I've been practicing with is P. So that's what I ran. But anyway, like I said, getting back to it, it busted. The inspector came up and he told me, he's like, your travel speed was low. Your volts were too low. Explain to me exactly what was going on. Crazy story. It only gets crazier. Here, let me read that. Here, okay, I'll come back to the tip. What happened after the test? I shook the guy's hand. Bygones are bygones. Rolled up, packed up the truck, driving down Death Highway 285. It was 2 hours from the house. I had to get up at 4 o'clock or left the house at like 4:15. Drove 2 hours for that test. Busted by lunch or right about lunch. Came back. And on the way back on Death Highway 285, had a blowout. One blowout on the set of duals. Actually, it just delaminated, completely delaminated tire. Still held air, and the outside tire was good. So I literally limped the road in and out of the cones. If you guys know 285, and I got video footage of the highway and me telling the story before the blowout. But I'm weaving, like, I see a line of cars coming, I pull over, let them pass, and pull back out onto the road, driving 30 miles an hour. 17 miles outside of Pecos, I had my blowout. Yeah, my face. So I had to shave. I have to wear a respirator. I'll finish the story and I'll tell you all about it. It's all part of the story. But had my blowout. Got to a tire shop in Pecos. Got me 4 new tires all the way across the back. $1,100 out the door, which I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought they were going to gouge me on the price. I figured this is a boomtown tire shop, and I think the tires, I got some Cooper ST Maxes, 210 per tire plus disposal and mounting and balancing and all that. So yeah, no, I keep seeing my face. Yeah, I'm not used to it either. So I got my tires on, and oh my God, it took forever, probably 3 or 4 hours to get some tires on. I mean, they were busy, but they're also slow as shit. But shout out to those guys. They did a great job. Appreciate it. I met a fellow. We saw a trailer drive by, and he was like, that's why you balance your trailer tires. And from there, we just started talking. He was a pipeline welder from southern Mississippi. And we just got to talking, this and that. He was like, I told him about the test I had just busted. And he said, I got the tools in my truck. As soon as my tire's finished and yours is finished, we'll check your machine. So we checked the RPMs. The RPMs were nuts on. The OCVs were dead on. We took out my lead. I was like, well, am I running too much lead? I got 250, so 125 and 125 on the positive and negative. And I was like, is it too much lead? And he's like, nah. But we checked it. It was good. Everything was good. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm running 4th gear and 70 for a hot pass now. That's just the way it's going to be. It ain't no 3rd gear and 80, 4th gear and 70. So anyway, we chatted, learned a lot about how these machines work, the break-in and this and that and the other, and got my truck back and headed back to town. On my way back to town, driving down Highway 20 back to Odessa here, my phone rings, and it's the guy I was testing for. And he wasn't out in the field. It was the inspector, Mr. Green, and the company man from the 200, SA200. And he says, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. I had a blowout, but got it fixed and got some machine issues figured out. He said, "Good, good. I heard the test didn't go so good." I'm like, "Hey, yeah, yes, sir. You heard right." Uh, and he said, "Well," and the whole time, the company provided me a helper, and I was telling this helper, I was like, "Look, man, uh, this is my first. This is my first downhill test ever. I'm going to be totally honest with you." Uh, this helper was a good hand, experienced. He'd helped a lot of welders out. Um, he knew what he was doing, knew how to drive the remote up, down. Knew, oh man, could grind a bead. Could, I mean, he was on it. He was on it. Thanks, Anthony. Shout out to you, buddy. That test was fun. Had a good time with you. Can't wait to work with you in the future. Um, but I get a call, and I guess Anthony told the owner of the company, they were related. I was talking about this and that and how I had all uphill experience. 7018, I could burn 7018 all day long, eyes shut almost. And come to find out, this company has a lot of uphill work, and they can't find uphill welders out here because everyone's out here to weld pipeline downhill. They don't run uphill. I'm just the opposite. I run uphill. I'm just now learning how to run downhill. Um, he says, "Hey, I got some uphill work. You interested?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He says, "Pays the same, and there's no per diem, but you get drive time." And this job is like an hour and a half closer to that house. So I'm like, "Yes, sweet, yeah." And he's like, "Well, you'll retest Monday, that this coming Monday, um, and yeah, we'll go from there." I was like, "Sweet." Hung up the phone, drove home with a big smile on my face. Um, I've heard story after story of, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen guys fail the test and they tell the guy to fuck off and uh, get pissy. I mean, they may not say anything, but they get pissy and they get butt hurt, which I don't blame you. I It's all right to get butt hurt if you fail a test. I mean, there goes your money. There it goes. You just lost it. Um, but I, when this inspector told me what was going on, I couldn't be more appreciative. This is stuff I never knew. I don't know how to test my OCVs. I just learned yesterday how to do that. I'm going to go buy me a voltmeter. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it because had I known I was running so cold, I wouldn't have been fighting it. I would be like, how come I can't get my weld to look like that? I'm doing exactly what the guy says, setting it at the same heat, doing the same motions, the same circles here, zigzags here, horseshoes here, doing it all just like I thought I was supposed to. And I can't get it to look like that. Well, come to find out, when you're running way cold, I mean, way cold. I thought I was running hot, but I'm running cold. It's not going to turn out right. So, and these are things you don't know unless you know. And now I know. So, anyway, I busted that test. I learned so much from it. And I was so thankful for the opportunity. Out of the blue, these guys called me and said, "Hey, do you want to test for us?" I wasn't going to turn it down, even though I knew I haven't been chasing downhill work. Um, you guys know I've been looking to chase some rigs and do get into some new construction out here. Just like I'm trying to keep in my groove, stick with what I know. Um, but I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity, and I was thankful for it. So anyway, I'll come over here and I'll read this stuff. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I had seen some of those Darlington Farm guys videos. I didn't know he had one checking the OCVs. It's real easy. But I mean, it's one of those things that if you don't know, you don't know. And heck, I mean, this machine's pretty new, and I just assumed everything was good. And come to find out, it was. So I'm still kind of baffled as to what it could be. I'm gonna make some phone calls. I got two mechanics, two mechanics that I'm gonna call. The one that who installed my distributor, Andrew Black, up there in Fort Collins, and then the guy who built it. I want to talk to both of these guys, and since neither one of them can look at it, I want to tell them what happened and hear both of them say what they think's going on. So no, Mike, I did not pass, but I still got the job. Or company had a lot of work. I busted the test that I showed up to take. Um, was able to express to them how I'm an uphill welder, and this was my very first downhill test, and busted the test. Called me back a couple hours later and said, we want to hire you for some uphill work." So that's how it worked out. Long story short, that's what you missed. Um, oh yeah, and rolling the rack, you got to be. I hear you. That's like some warranty voiding shit. If you do it wrong, you're going to destroy your machine. I'm not to that point. Um, what I need to do is I need to get my voltmeter. I need to turn the machine on because we tested this after they put the tires on. That was a couple hours, so that machine had time to cool, kind of get back to baseline. So when you start those machines, everything is higher, and you run them for a couple hours, everything drops. So I need to do some welding, let the drop happen, and recheck everything. And maybe from there, first thing I'm going to do is raise the RPM. You raise it so your OCVs are a little high when you start, and after you run, they go down into the normal range. That's option number one. Um, option very last option, whether it's number 2 or 7, is rolling the rack. Um, that's like I said, you got to do that just right, or you can destroy your whole setup. So I'm not to that point yet. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. You know what? The next time for sure, I'm going to grind that hot pass way better. I I I thought it was good. I thought I had ground it good. If I would have ground it cleaner, and here's the story: there were 4 people that showed up, and 2 of them busted out on the route. Didn't one of them? Oh wait, no. One busted out on the route. Didn't pass visual. I mean, they was like, "Sorry, this isn't going to work." Incomplete penetration, whatever it was. I didn't go over there to look. Wasn't my business. The second one passed on his route, his visual, and he ground the shit out of it. It was bright, shiny, not a drop of slag in the whole thing, all the way around. And he goes in there to put it in a top pass and nuked. I'm not exaggerating. Let me find. He blew a hole half the size of a penny in that pipe, putting in his hot pass. So he ground too much and he put it in his hot pass too hot. The combination of both. It wasn't just one or the other. He ground too thin and was running too hot and just nuked a hole in it. And he busted himself. He said, "I can't fix that," which I could have. I would have fixed that fucking thing. It may have been had a huge. I would at least finished fixed it, and he may not have passed it on visual, but I would have fixed it. But he just walked away from it, and that left me. And at that point, he already said your volts are off, but we came to the agreement that I could finish the test after it got turned up. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, though, just don't overgrind. That's what I was going for. I didn't want to be the guy to blow a hole in my route. So I got it where I thought it was good and where I thought it was going to burn the last bit out. But on that 1/4 that I ran cold, it did not burn it out. I wish I got a picture of that film. I would have loved to have seen it. But it was digital. It was in the truck. I was just, it was all good. So let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, my face. I'm not. Let's see. Oh, I guess that's it. Yeah. So got another uphill test lined up for Monday. Doing some more work closer to the house. I'm super, super excited for it. Like, this is the kind of work I came to Odessa to do. I didn't come here to chase pipelines, but there's enough of that going on here. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I got mixed feelings telling you guys about how much work is here and how easy it is to get a job here. It's not easy. It's not easy. There are a lot of people here who are looking for work, looking and can't find it. Um, you're walking into a shark tank if you come down here for a job. If you man up and start swimming with the sharks, you're gonna do great. If you were a little minnow, you're gonna get eaten up. You're gonna run out of money. Uh, you got to come down here with cash. Have money. Have money. If you don't come down here, I always say go money. You know, you've heard me talk about it before. $1,500 go money. No, dude, I've blown through way more than that down here. Way, way more than that. In the 1 week I've been here, I've had to buy $1,100 worth of tires. These roads are shit. They're rough roads. I mean, they're just the roads aren't bad, but they've been beaten to death by all the trucks. I got the video footage. I'll upload it, and it kind of tells the story before I knew I still had the job, uh, where I just thought I busted the test. I'll upload that video that I recorded just so you can see Highway 285, and you can see the traffic, and you can see the potholes. Like literally, I'm driving, I'm like, you know, there's holes in the road, and some are deep, some of them are this deep, you know, like holes in the road. So, but I'll upload that. Then you can, as far as rod angle, I'm not the guy to be asking about that, but I try to drag it just a little bit. You know, this is 12 o'clock. I try to maintain a little bit of a drag all the way down, uh, and especially toward the bottom, preparing for school next summer. On that test yesterday, I just went from 12 to 6, 12 to 6. The route, I did the wide side first. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wide side first to open up the narrow side. And it worked awesome. It worked great. 12 inch is bigger than what I'm normally welding on. You know, I've done process pipe, 4, 6 inch. Had a couple of 8 inch welds and two 10 inch welds on that last job, and that 10 inch was the biggest pipe I've ever welded on. But 12 is a totally different beast. The bigger it is, the more it's going to draw and this and that. Uh, but I had those gaps set up as close to perfect as I could. One of them was a little bigger on one side, and when I welded it, it balanced everything out just perfect. It's all about a good fit, good cut. Uh, oh man, yeah, it was such a great learning experience. I hope I'm trying to get across everything that I went through yesterday. But I was lucky. I had the bevel machine, which you show up for a branch test, you're gonna need a bevel machine. So just know that. Let's see. Brahma or CCC. I worked on a job where CCC was. Um, I didn't work for them. They looked like kind of a. I would me right now. I would think twice before I worked for them. I mean, if they were paying good and they had a job I wanted to be on, I'd work for them. But it was kind of a ragtag outfit. Brahma. I used to see Brahma everywhere, and I guess they had a couple of jobs where they just really fucked up, and they kind of got decimated in the industry. Uh, yeah, I know, babyface. It's because I've had that hair on it for so long. I haven't shaved since 2014. So 4 years, 4 years I hadn't shaved. Yep, and it's all stubbly now. But yeah, I got to stay clean shaven. I could grow a mustache if I want, but I look like a Chester the Molester with a mustache. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, no, I never worked for either of those two. But I think Brahma's on. Oh wait, no, Brahma. Yeah, no, that's who I'm thinking of. No, no, not out here to weld pipeline. I am here to do fabrication, pipe fabrication, structural fabrication. I'm here to stick with what I know. Um, but the pipeline work is here and it's tempting. And now that I know what was going on with my downhill, I'm real tempted to start chasing it. Take a test. I know I could pass now, no problem. Everything looked good. I passed all my visuals. Uh, it was the technical stuff. I was when it was too cold. It was too cold, and it wasn't, and it didn't shoot. Uh, but everything else, when I got it dialed, it was on the money. It was on the money. And that was in like 40. Come to find out, after I busted that test and I left, I found out every pipeline in the whole area had winded out for the day. Like those guys weren't welding. It was windy. I mean, we had dirt. So I mean, I was in the worst of the worst, and I did pretty good considering. Wasn't letting it affect me. Riding the pipe. Yeah. See, I had to shave. It's part of it. H2S respirator. That's it. This is some sour gas country, especially if you go further west. Pecos. I was in that test yesterday. Was in Orla, outside of Orla, 17 miles outside of Orla, Texas. Like I said, from where I'm sitting right now, my bedroom to the job site took me 2.5 hours. So I left here at a little after 4, and it was a haul. I mean, 2 hours, 2 hour commute. That's serious. That's serious. Uh, the power stash. Oh man, there's nothing out there. I mean, Orla is a gas station. I literally didn't see anything there but a gas station. Come to find out, the busiest pilot gas station in the world. Uh, yeah, yeah, but that drive down 285 is rough. Um, the traffic, the construction, the holes. I mean, you just have to put everything down, focus on the road. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And more people need to do that. Oh man, Pecos, third world country. Let me pull up a picture. Um, let me show you guys something. I'm still learning how to use this thing. Here we go. Here we go. This was the bathroom at the gas station in Pecos. That is some third world shit right there, man. And it has nothing to do with the culture. It's the plumbing won't handle it. That town, they're not investing any money in that town. They are building hotels, and that just sucks the money right out. But they're not upgrading roads. They're not upgrading the municipal facilities. That town, you can't flush the toilet paper down the toilet because the sewer can't handle it. It's disgusting. Orla Cafe. See, like I said, I didn't even see anything in that town. I mean, I got to that highway intersection of 625, I think, 625 and 285, and that's it. Like I didn't go look for no burger joint. But good to know it's out there if I find my way over there. Oh yeah, no, that was used toilet paper, and it was, yeah, used toilet paper. I mean, if you've been to Mexico, that's how it's done in Mexico. Mexico's the same way. Their sewage system can't handle the paper, and and instead of clogging the toilet every time you use it, backing up the sewer, they just don't throw their paper away. Um, Usually there's a trash can there though, but it's the same way. You, that's awful, dude. It's awful. Anyway, I don't really feel like talking about the toilet paper anymore. Um, but anyway, I like I said, what I want you to get out of the story of me busting the test and still getting the job is be positive about the situation you're in. Be thankful for the situation you're in. It's the only situation you got. It's not good or bad. It's how you handle it. If you make it into a good situation, it's going to be good. Um, I've been here for just over a week now, a week and 2 days. Um, I've busted one test and I got one test lined up. I've spent tons and tons of money. I spent $600 on the hotel the first 3 nights I was there, $1,000, $1,100 on tires. Money is hemorrhaging out of my bank account at an exponential rate than it's coming in, being that I don't have a job yet. But everything is working out just tits. So just want to, I don't know, if you guys are getting something out of it, awesome. If not, just following the story, more power to you. But like I said, uh, whatever opportunities you have, make the most out of them. Be positive, man. People appreciate that. People really do. That's if I would have been a dick to that inspector and put my nose up to him when he was trying to tell me what was going on with my welding machine, then I wouldn't have got that call back to show up Monday. So, but anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. Oh yeah, I'll be happy to make some videos going uphill. Kind of off topic. Welding hoodies. What are you talking about? Like hoodies or beanies or what? I'll give you a second. I don't know what you're talking about though. Um, yeah, uphill videos. You guys, once I get set up out here, you betcha I'm gonna have a helper, and that helper is gonna be busy. Yeah, making all kinds of good videos. So, oh yeah, just take the strings off, man. You said that's a style. People like that. I don't wear hoodies. Like I'm hot. I mean, it's wintertime here. I think it's let's see. Let's see what the weather says. Uh Weather. Dude, I came from Denver and it was snowing. Seeing this thing is so stupid. Like these things are so stupid. It says it's 0 degrees. It's like 70 degrees outside right now. And I see guys wearing hoodies and winter jackets and stuff. Dude, I'm sweating my ass off. Like I stopped even wearing long johns. So uh, I'm hot. I'm not going to be welding in a hoodie while I'm down here. But yeah, do it. Put the shirt on over it. They make sure it's the 100% cotton, not the blend. You don't want poly blend. If it says poly blend, you got the wrong hoodie. Those burn very aggressively, and like grinders will catch them on fire. Just the sparks off grinders will catch those on fire. So yeah, layering, and I layer on top. I'll wear my jacket, my vest, and the jacket's off by the time I get out of the car to the job site, and then the vest shortly after that. And I'll just be in my undershirt and my weld shirt. I'm good. Like it's still hot. Uh, I got to thin my blood out. I was ready for winter. It was winter in Texas or in Colorado when I left there. We were having highs in the 20s and 30s. So, all right, if that's all, I'm gonna head out, kick back for a little bit. Um, I don't know. I got a weekend to sit around, and who knows? I got all those rig guys have my number, and if some emergency work pops up, they're gonna give me a call. I'm expecting. Well, I'm not expecting work, but I know they're gonna call when the work's here. So, anyway, we'll catch you guys later, and stay tuned for more. We got lots coming at you. So